Just about 1 year ago, Citibank launched the Citi Custom Cash Card. This card was revolutionary at the time for one simple reason. It offered automatic 5% cash back on your top monthly spend category without selecting, enrolling, or changing anything. Up to this point, other cards offering bonus multipliers for category spend required you to either select a category or depend on rotating categories given to you. This one simple, no annual fee card completely changed the way we looked at credit card setups and led me to reassess my own credit card setup at the time. Now I'm sure at this point that it's pretty apparent that I pick favorites when it comes to credit cards, and American Express has always been at the top of that list. My very first credit card was the American Express Blue Card, and I earned a whopping 1x points back on everything. I bring this up because a few years down the line, I realized that I should probably get a better card, so I product changed this card into the Blue Cash Preferred, which became my go-to card for groceries and gas since, at that time, it offered 6% back on groceries and 3% on transit and gas. And this card was great, up until the Citi Custom Cash Card came out, and then, 1 month later, after 10 years of using the American Express Blue Cash Preferred card, it no longer had a place in my wallet, so I retired it. So today, we're going to go over both of these cards, and I'll explain why I think the American Express Blue Cash Preferred card is now obsolete. So let's first look at both cards in terms of the sign-up bonus, annual fees, and multipliers. For the sign-up bonus, the Citi Custom Cash Card offers $200 cash back after spending $750 in the first 3 months of account opening. The American Express Blue Cash Preferred card offers $300 cash back after spending $3,000 in purchases in the first 6 months. Each card also offers 0% APR on purchases, but the Citi Custom Cash offers this for 15 months, while the Blue Cash Preferred offers this for only 12 months. Next up are the annual fees. The Citi Custom Cash does not have an annual fee, while the AMEX Blue Cash Preferred offers an introductory $0 annual fee for the first year, then $95 after that. This annual fee can be offset by a $120 Equinox Plus credit divided into $10 monthly credits over the course of a year, if you use your Blue Cash Preferred to pay for Equinox Plus, which is Equinox's health and fitness app. Finally, we get to the multipliers, and this is the focus of our conversation for today. The Citi Custom Cash earns 5% cash back on your top eligible spend category each billing cycle up to the first $500 spent, then 1% back on everything else. These categories include grocery stores, streaming services, gas, transit, travel, and other select categories. The AMEX Blue Cash Preferred earns 6% cash back on groceries up to $6,000 per year, 6% cash back on streaming services, 3% cash back on transit, 3% cash back on gas, and 1% back on everything else. Looking at the multipliers, the AMEX Blue Cash Preferred is a great grocery card, offering basically a 6% cash back for $500 in grocery spend per month, on average. Sadly, it has this $95 annual fee, which will eat into your overall earnings. This is why, once the Citi Custom Cash Card came out, to me, it essentially rendered the Blue Cash Preferred card obsolete, since the Citi Custom Cash Card could give me 5% cash back for that same $500 in grocery spend per month, which is only 1% lower than the Blue Cash Preferred with no annual fee. If we take a closer look at this from a numbers standpoint, if you maximize the grocery category and spend $500 per month with the Citi Custom Cash, you earn 5% cash back on that $500 per month, which is $25 per month, and extrapolating that for the year, that would be a total of $300. With the AMEX Blue Cash Preferred, that same $500 at a 6% cash back rate would earn you $30 per month, which would be $360 per year, but then you have to subtract that $95 annual fee, leaving you with only $265 of total cash back. This means that if we look at only the grocery category alone for these two cards, the Citi Custom Cash wins out with $35 more in cash back over a 1-year period. In my opinion, this is the best way to compare both of these cards head to head. The reason is because the way the Citi Custom Cash Card is designed, you're only supposed to use this card in one category and spend up to $500 and then use alternate credit cards to cover any additional spend either in the same category or other categories. Now, if you want to go a little deeper, the AMEX Blue Cash Preferred does have other multipliers that can be used to help get even more cash back, so I went through my average expenses in those categories to show you a real-life example if the AMEX Blue Cash Preferred or the Citi Custom Cash would be a better value. Over the past 5 months, I spent an average of $150 in groceries, $40 per month in streaming services, $150 per month in gas, and $150 per month in transit expenses. So if we factor in all of these expenses with the American Express Blue Cash Preferred, I would earn $9 cash back for groceries, $2.40 for streaming, $4.50 for gas, and $4.50 for transit. That's a total of $20.40 per month, making $244.80 cash back over a 1-year period. Now that's all well and good, but then we have to subtract that $95 annual fee, so our total take-home value from this card is $149.80 per year. Now let's take a look at these same expenses, but this time with the Citi Custom Cash Card. As we just discussed, the way we use this card is by focusing on one category with the highest amount of spend, and then use other cards for the other categories. For this example, let's assume we also have the Citi Double Cash Card, so we can get at least 2% cash back on our other categories. As our grocery, transit, and gas categories are all equal, let's just use the grocery category as our 5% category. Doing the math, I would earn $7.50 cash back from groceries using the Citi Custom Cash Card and $6.80 from the other categories using the Citi Double Cash Card, which is a total of $14.30 cash back per month, or $171.60 per year. So from this example, using the combination of the Citi Custom Cash and the Citi Double Cash cards would be more valuable than using the American Express Blue Cash Preferred card. And if you use cards that offer even better multipliers for these categories, you could potentially get even greater value from the Citi Custom Cash by using a credit card setup that's specifically tailored for your individual spending categories. I do want to point out that I think the American Express Blue Cash Preferred card can still be a great go-to card for a lot of people. Since it covers a lot of high-yield categories such as groceries, streaming services, gas, and transit, it may be an excellent card for some of you that want just one card that can get you a great cash back on a lot of common spend categories with an easy cashback redemption system. But I think the AMEX Blue Cash Preferred card is just not as good as compared to cards like the Citi Custom Cash Card. For one, the annual fee plus the grocery earning cap makes it very hard for the Blue Cash Preferred to get more value than the no annual fee Citi Custom Cash Card. I also think that the AMEX Blue Cash Preferred used to be a great card for college students as it covers a lot of useful spending categories, but with all the different credit cards out there, like the Discover It card, Bank of America Customized Cash Card, and the Chase Freedom Flex card, there are much better alternatives. And in terms of maximizing groceries, if you spend more than $500 per month in groceries, this probably wouldn't be a good card to use. A better card to consider would be the AMEX Gold Card, which gives you 4x membership rewards points on groceries up to $25,000 per year, which is definitely much more reasonable than the $6,000 limit on the Blue Cash Preferred. Yes, the Gold Card does give you membership rewards points instead, but if you redeem these points correctly, you can get at least 1 cent per point, if not more, by using redemption bonuses or transfer partners. Overall, both the Citi Custom Cash and the AMEX Blue Cash Preferred cards are both excellent cards to use, but it's important to realize that depending on your specific situation, analyzing your expenses and doing the math is the best way to see which card makes sense for you. So what do you think? Do you agree with what I said in this video, or do you think the AMEX Blue Cash Preferred is clearly better than the Citi Custom Cash? Let me know in the comments below. And if you made it this far, make sure to check out these 2 other videos about credit cards that I think you'll enjoy.